Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach. It's going to be the third and major buy round discussion and preview, round 19. And it was going to be a really simple week coming into this. It's flipped. It's flipped on its head, which is good for content. I've got more to actually talk about. Originally, I was probably not going to make any trades this week. It was going to be... It was going to be fucking perfect, dude. We would have had, genuinely, I think 15, really, really solid players playing options. Couple of duds, but we were really stacked for this round, which means we're still pretty okay, even with a bit of carnage, but it has thrown quite a bit of turmoil in. So let's go through... And I guess just think, what are we going to do with a few of these? So, dummy half. I don't know. I still think I'm just going to keep... I think I'm just going to keep Brayley. I was thinking about this before. I might not even use a single trade in my dummy half spot for the rest of the year. Robson, when everyone's back in action, I'm still very tempted by going a Connor Watson, but I don't know. Let's just have a look at the dummy halves, right? Obviously, Appy. I think Appy Coruscant's the only guy that's actually gone, big this year. He's obviously balanced it by having, some of the lowest scores out there as well, but... So Reed Marnie's been really solid. He's on a buy, but I would never... I'm not going to go to Reed Marnie. I've got Robson. He's doing basically the same job. They're averaging... look at it. the top scoring dummy halves are all averaging 66 to 64.5. It's the fucking same, right? Surprisingly... I guess not that surprisingly. Appy is, very heavily owned, considering everyone else is, 10%. Marnie, no. Appy Coruscant, I'm not going to Coruscant now. I missed out on the big score, obviously. He got a 90 last week as well, which is good. But, I remember when I didn't go him after, his big score. 24 against the Roosters. He did get that dodgy sin bin, but whatever. He was taking on the Sharks in this bye. Obviously, the Sharks now are missing Hines, but they're still, very strong in a bye. I still expect the Sharks forward pack to be more dominant than the Tigers. So I think Appy should struggle. You never know. He can still do some magic and get some stuff. Rabbits are looking a lot stronger. Warriors, Cowboys, Newcastle, South, Manly. Another buy, a buy, and then Parramatta. So I'm not going Appy Coruscant. He still could hurt me a lot, but it's not going to happen. Damien Cook, I got to be honest, I'm still very shocked so many people went Cook last week. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Peter Mamazoulis, how many minutes did Cook still play the full 80? I don't know if Mamazoulis actually got on the field last week, which is very strange. Yeah, he played the full 80. I don't... Cook's going next year. Surely Mamazoulis on the bench. He has to start getting some minutes, right? Who the fuck are they playing a dummy half next year? So, I don't like the Cook play. I can see the minutes dropping a little bit. He's still looking pretty good, but I wouldn't go it. Marshall King injured. Brayley, no. Little, fucking no. He's actually going okay, Little, but, he's averaging a tick under 60. He's now over 600k. Harry Grant is... he's now got this, sternum problem. I can see him getting, reduced minutes, for the rest of the season, so he gets fit for the finals. So I gotta be honest, I'm not that keen on Harry Grant after Origin. Connor Watson is still the guy I'm very keen on. Obviously, a buy this week. He's not going to play huge minutes in Origin 3, so he should be good for round 20. Then he plays 21, 22, buy in 23, and then a pretty good run home. I guess he does have a ceiling. He's gone 125. That's his only one over a ton. 92 and 89, 76. He's been good. But again, is it worth even trading Robson? Because what is Robson's draw? The annoying thing with fucking Robson is that it seems like Payton, he's probably going to rest him again. So he's probably not going to play round 20, which is just, it's turning into a bit of a disaster holding Robson. But then he's got 21, 22, 23, 24, misses 25, and then 26, 27, where because they have a bye in 25, they probably play their full strength side in around 27. You would think the Cowboys aren't going to be safe in the top 8. So I honestly don't know. I don't know. Like, there's no one to trade Brayley to this week anyway. Like, I'm not trading Brayley up to someone half decent, and I'm not going Brayley all the way to Api Coruscant. So I don't know. We might still just make one trade, Robson up to someone better, or we just make no fucking trades and dummy half and just let the position rot, basically. But yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do there. The front row forward. So I've talked about this quite a bit, that I'm pretty much just going to be nothing out one of these guys. I think Curran is the only guy that I think is 100% safe. I mean, one, he's the lowest value guy, but I also, it's funny, he is the lowest value, but I also probably, he's my most sort of consistent guy. Like, I'm always happy to play Curran. Like, Fainu is always a little bit, he just doesn't get the attack in that Tigers side, but he's looking pretty good. Liam Henry gets like 40s every week off the bench, which is solid, but then he turns into a monster in like backup games. And then Terrell May is now interesting because Hargraves, I don't know if it's happened yet, but he's fighting the charge. If he fails, I think he's getting, is it 4 or 5 weeks? And then if he challenges it and succeeds, he's only going to get a fine. So I think it'll depend on that. If Hargraves is out for like 4 or 5 weeks, I probably just hold Terrell May and then just nuff out either Henry or Fainu. And I'm probably leaning Fainu at this point, honestly. Like, I think Henry is going to be such a good play in round 20, again, after the Origin backup. And then, like I keep saying, like, if you can hold Henry till round 27, like, surely Penrith rest all their players and Henry can again get, like, big minutes and turn into a monster. So I don't hate it. Fainu, if he gets some attack, yeah, he could go big, but he's never going to be, like, consistently going large. So, I don't know, I'm probably, at the time, I'm probably leaning Fainu is enough, like, next round or the round after, but it could change. It could change depending on how we look. Our back row, okay, so... A comment also, I'm sorry, I forget the username, but he made a very good point. I was talking about, do I get in Olakau'atu, like, who do I trade? And then he reminded me that Beau Fermor is dual centre wing Touraf, which is very handy. It could have allowed me to trade as a centre winger for an Olakau'atu, but now the fact Cartwright is on the bench, what is his break even? That will dictate a lot. Break even is 61. Ah, dude, it's so tricky because I don't hate the Cartwright trade out, but the like, as I talked about in the team list, he's like, I'm pretty confident Cartwright's going to come on in like the 20th minute, 25th minute, and then play the rest of the game. Like, obviously that's not set in stone. He might not. Like, fuck, who knows? They might, he might spend more time on the bench, which would be a pain in the ass. But it happened a few weeks ago. He played 57 minutes against the Roosters, scored 74 points. He came out and just offloaded at will. They're taking on the Titans, who, granted, they've been pretty good, the Titans. Like, defensively, they're actually been a lot better. And, you know, they held the Sharks pretty well. But I feel like the Titans are a team that misses a lot of tackles. And they're a team that they're not good at the little things, right? So Cartwright's a guy that he can free the arm against the Titans, right? He's going to get the little bump off, freeing the arm, offloading. So I like holding Cardi, but then they miss round 20, and then it's a pretty tough run. Melbourne, Warriors, Penrith, Roosters, Bronx, and then Dragons. Tigers is nice at the end, but like it's going to be tough to hold him for that long. So I don't hate the trade out of Cardi, but if he plays good minutes, it's a bit of a wasted trade. Although Olakau'atu is definitely, I think at this point, a better commodity than Cartwright. The other back rows, I mean, Fafita we're obviously keeping. Nicho we're keeping. Ali Katoa we're keeping. Pierce Paul. Honestly, I'm happy to hold Pierce Paul. I think Pierce Paul can get back to some good form. And if he can just jag some attack, I can see him going well. And then Beau Fermor. Again, I'm happy to hold Fermor. Again, especially this week. So, what centre wingers, if we were going to do a centre winger out, obviously, I guess this is the other issue though, right? Well, okay, we got Kohler. That's right. We got to trade out. We could. So, oh, fuck, it's tricky, man. Oh, God. Okay, let's go down because there's quite a bit to... Actually, no, we'll keep talking on this because there's quite a bit to talk about with this whole debacle. So, originally Kohler, I was thinking... it's terrible. He's 100% a trade out, though. Like, there's no point keeping him because he's not going to get back at fullback. Like, Tommy will be good to go at that point or whatever. I just don't see it happening. If it does, I don't know. You could fucking bring him back in. I don't know. But he's got to go. Now, this sort of silver lining here was that I thought, you know what? We now get a decent opportunity to trade Kohler to one of these like cheapie potential nuff guys to free up cash and a playable option this week. Because originally, I'm not trading Garrick, I'm not trading Marju, I'm not trading Gagai this week, I'm not trading Kiraz, I think is a keeper, Dom Young is probably a keeper, Kale Iro is a guy that definitely can go for someone better, but again, I'm not going to trade Kale Iro in the buy. Like, it doesn't make any sense why I would do that. And they take the Tigers on. Like, it's a pretty good matchup for Iro. So, trading now Kohler for one of those cheapies, I guess it's... Do you trade him down to one of the cheapies, or do you trade him up to Olakau'atu if we don't trade our Cardi? I don't know. It's tough. Before we get into that, the 5'8", honestly, the 5'8" are fine. Like, I don't know. It's fine. The halfback, okay. Before we get to the halfback, the fullbacks are fine as well. Well, actually, no, I've got decisions to make here as well. So, Tedesco, obviously, he's staying. Like, I think Tedesco's just to keep it till the end now. Something drastic will have to happen for us to trade out Tedesco, honestly. Fletcher Sharp has got to go. Now, Tommy Trbojevic is back at fullback. I just got to see what is his price. I think he's pretty damn cheap. Fletcher Sharp, and this is the thing with Sharp, he's got a 36 break even, so you would expect him to hit that and probably make cash, but I don't necessarily see him going massive, right? Like, he's a guy that if he doesn't get attack, he probably could only score 30 to 40 and make no money. So it's not necessarily a must-hold situation for Sharp. If he gets 70 plus, he'll make a decent amount of cash. But I don't know. Against Manly are missing some players for sure. But the Knights team is very depleted. Very, very depleted. And if you're bringing in, the plan was always to get Sharp to a gun fullback, right? And money, we're doing well money-wise, so it's not necessarily, I don't need to hold Sharp for an extra 50k and wait on this. But do you bring in Tommy? Oh, God. So, Manly have such a good draw. It's very, very difficult to not pull the trigger. He's only 738k. He lost another 30k. He's he's got a big break even this week as well. Oh man, I feel like it's. I don't know. I mean, the Knights are decimated Knights at 4 Pines Park. Then they play the Titans at 4 Pines Park. Then a tough game against the Roosters. Then Raiders, Warriors, Tigers, Bulldogs, Sharks. A few tough games in and around there for sure. But boy, oh boy, that's the thing with a bye round like this. Having such a potential massive scoring option. Now, granted, he didn't look that good last week, but he's still the thing about it, he hasn't looked really that sharp his whole career. I don't know. I think 2021 when he averaged 140, it's probably the one season where he did look really sharp, but I don't know, probably most years he's not. I think people overestimate how fast Tom Trbojevic is. He's not the quickest fullback. He's just not. He's good when he gets in stride and he's striding out. He can motor, but he's not that quick off the mark. He's not a zippy fullback. So I think a lot of times he doesn't look that electric like some of the other guys out there, but it's not necessarily he's underdone or injured. He does get injured a lot, obviously, but I don't necessarily think that because watching the game, if you watch it back, there were a lot of times Tommy was roaming. He didn't just stay at center. He was looking for the ball. He didn't find it that much. He only scored 45 points, but he was looking for the ball a lot. He was roaming around the field, so it was sort of good signs. I mean, it's so hard to pass up, and I don't hate just going sharp to Tommy. It is what it is. The thing about, obviously, the big concern for Tom is Lehigh Hopewade is on the wing and Tommy Talau's in the centers. It could easily be a late change, and Lehigh goes back to fullback, and Tommy Talau goes to the wing with Trbojevic going to the centers, right? But the beautiful part about it is Manly play the Knights, so we'll know. The worst part about it is if they get, come run out, that they're still named in those positions, and then all of a sudden they do switch. I don't think they do that. Hopefully we get confirmation one way or the other if Tommy's going to play fullback. If he is, you know what this is going to come down to? If my vice captain. Yeah, if my vice captain goes big enough that I would loop, then I don't think. Yeah, you know what? If my vice captain goes big this week, I'm not going to bring in Tommy Trbojevic because I'll just take the free loop and I'm not going to captain Trbojevic, right? And if you're not going to captain somebody like Trbojevic, it's not that big a deal if you don't bring him in. If he goes big, you're not missing out on double points, right? It's already a big risk to bring him in. If my vice captain doesn't go big, don't get me wrong, it's still very, very nerve-wracking to bring in Tommy and then captain him. But I think at this point of the season, fuck it, dude, we got to take some risks. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And obviously we'll keep an eye on late mail to see if there's a late switch with Tommy going back to the centers. If that happens, obviously I'm not going to bring him in either. But if he stays a fullback, 2 home games against the Knights and the Titans, it's fucking hard to pass up. But I think that's what we're going to do with Sharp. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Honestly, I think that's not a bad option. Now, let's have a look. If we're trading out Kohler for one of these cheapies, there's a couple of guys, obviously. They're young, well, not too young, but the older Tungo for the Eels look pretty good. Bottom dollar cheapie. 204k. We'll make 450k from the trade. He looks like a decent play as well. I mean, you got Lob as well for the Tigers, but I'm not that confident of Lob. Jake Tungo, he scored 36. He could have had a try. in that game as well. Like, he had decent base. He was a tackle buster. Don't hate it. Also, they take on the Titans. Like, it's a pretty good matchup for him. And then on top of that, well, that's the annoying thing, is that they then have a bye in 20, and then it's a really tough run. That is the one thing that's a little bit dicey about Tungo, because then they take on Melbourne, who, granted, Melbourne, they're not that good defensively this year, but it's still a tough matchup. Melbourne, Warriors, Penrith, Roosters, Broncos. I mean, that's pretty tough on paper. So you would expect him to drop out when Sivo's back, but if he plays well enough, he could hold the spot. But against tough opponents, he could become a bit of an AE nightmare. So I'm a little bit... Originally, I was like very keen on it, but I the more I see it, the more I'm like, ugh, I'm not actually that keen on Tungo, if I'm honest. The other guys, I mean, I guess Map-Up Langy as well. You could nuff him out this week. It's not the worst. Where is... Oh, shit, is... No, that's right. Jai Gray. He's just going to be fullback, isn't he? He's fullback 5'8". Oh, that's annoying. Or you got Will Price, who isn't necessarily... I'm a little torn now, because originally I was like Jai Gray, but fuck, you know what we could do? I haven't even... You know what we could do? I don't know if this is a good idea. Where is Grazer? There he is. 270k. He'll have the fullback spot for a few weeks. I think he looks really good. Like, the game I was keen to bring him in, he scored 76. Looked really sharp. They take on the Dolphins in the bye, Tigers, Raiders, Sharks. Mitchell might be back, I think, like 4 to 6 weeks, anywhere from there. Could be a bit longer. The final few games are pretty tough, so I wouldn't care. If you're gonna you free up a lot of cash. I don't. I mean, before we do this, Jesus Christ, there's so many moving parts. We got to talk about the halfback, because what are we doing there? So, shit, what do we do with Kohler now? So the fact Kohler, I don't know if I really love Tungo. I don't know if I like... I mean, Will Price... Is Will Price worth it? It doesn't make you a whole bunch of cash, but he does look very sharp. Like, he's an attacking upside player, which is what you want in Supercoach, right? Like, he's a guy that's going to score points. That's literally what you need in Supercoach. It's just a shame he's 345k. It's not expensive, but it makes it a little bit more annoying. Because if we look, I think he's gone literally 69 twice. No, 60 and then 69. Manly, it's pretty tough. Fuck, it's a tough run though. Manly, with missing a lot of players against Manly, it's not the worst matchup. Manly are missing players, but they're just missing so many strike players, Newcastle. It's a little bit dicey. Then the Broncos, surely the Broncos will fire up. Bye, then Penrith, Tiger Sharks, South. The final few games are really good, but you're not really going to want Price for the last few games, honestly. I don't know. Maybe the Kohler trade is going up to a gun instead of going down to a... Or at the end of the day, we could just go down to a genuine cheapie nuff, like a dual centre wing Turev. Where do we have somebody of that caliber? Surely there's somebody. I mean, Jed Cartwright's a little bit fucking nerve-wracking to do that for, because he could get a spot. Surely there's enough. I mean, you got Bradley, fuck, is there really no, like, genuine nuffs that aren't going to play? That's annoying. Maybe just go Tungo. Maybe you do just go Tungo. I don't know. I'm a little torn on that. But let's... Alright, so what are we doing with Hines? Okay. Here's one of the big fucking dilemmas, right? So Hines. How this one hurts, right? Because, like, it's not so much Hines of it. He hasn't been killing it by any means. He's looking pretty shell-shocked. He's looking pretty poor. But it was going to be a big decision for people, right? Because there's no good halfbacks playing this week. But a lot of people have, like, a Hughes or even, like, a Moses or a Sammy Walker. And it was going to be a tough choice. On form, you wouldn't trade, like, Hughes for Hines necessarily. But Hines playing in a bye like this against the Titans, like... or the Tigers, I should say. They played the Titans last week and he stunk. But playing the bye, like, personally, I think you would have had to make the trade, but it would have been a tough choice. Like, I could definitely understand people not making that trade, and Hines would have been like a massive potential swing, but now he's fucking out, and he's got to be traded. Like, it's a really nasty ankle injury. He's going to be gone for potentially the whole season now, so he's got to go. It's a matter of, like, what do we do? I don't know. I I don't hate getting Gray. I don't hate that little option. Cleary for me, I'm 100% going to get Nathan Cleary in, right? I think 100% I'm going Cleary when he's back. It does make it a little tricky because Tyron Wishart's coming off 108, so... I mean, he's still only got a 52 break even. He's not going to make, like, a stack of cash. It's fine. The Storm play... Yeah, okay. The Storm play the Roosters. That's a pretty tough game. Then Parramatta. It's like a pretty good draw for the... Like, it's up and down, I would say. But Wishart's not going to be a keeper till the end of the season. I'm definitely going to want Cleary in. Cleary, I think Cleary's pretty much tipped to come back around 20. I'm expecting. If he doesn't, it's fine. If he comes back like round 21, I don't hate it. So in that case, we go Wishart to Cleary round 20 or 21. Jai Gray can sit there making cash, be a decent playable option. What do we do? I don't know. Like, it seems crazy to go like a cheapie and like... Well, it's not a cheapie and halfback because we'll have Dylan Brown in halfback, which is fine, I guess. We'll have a cheapie in 5'8". It's the same difference. But like Hughes, I can't go Hughes. Honestly, Hughes, he's been killing it. He's the form halfback of the comp by far. But I can't go Hughes now. He's 822k. If I'm wanting to get in fucking Cleary, I can't get in Hughes as well. So Hughes off the table. He's off the table. I mean, Luai's going well. I'm not getting Luai though. Cleary 800k. Yeah, they tip him for around 20. Honestly, I think I have to go Cleary straight away. It could bite me in the ass again, but I think Cleary is the play for sure. Just, we gotta get some momentum going and hopefully he can come out firing. It's not... I'm not confident by it, but I think that's what's gonna happen. Sammy Walker, I don't love Sam Walker. Like, you sort of missed him with his goodbye schedule and really good matchup. There's a couple of good games, like Storm should be tough, but could score a lot of points. Manly, Dolphins. Then there's another bye. Parramatta, Gold Coast, Canberra South. Like, it's not bad. There's definitely some pretty good matchups in the middle there, but I don't know. I don't really want Sam Walker, if I'm honest. Like, he averages 66. Like, I mean, it is more than Cleary, granted, but Cleary's had some low scores with injuries. Mitchy Moses, I also don't love. Pretty tough draw. I mean, Cody Walker, No, even I don't love without Mitchell in the team. I don't like Cody Walker. Like, there's so many times Walker literally just passes it to Mitchell. Like, he does a bit of ball playing, but he literally just gives him the ball and Mitchell scores. Easy try assist, line break assist. Like, he's not going to get that with Jai Gray. Gray's good, but he's not going to just fucking barge over 5 players. So I don't love Walker now. Mitchell's out. The other guy I see, Burton is cheap. I see here Jaden Campbell. I don't love that either. I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, Campbell. But no, Brimson is 18th man. It's too risky. I mean, Campbell's coming off a couple of big scores. I think you've missed the boat on Campbell. He could go big this week. He could, but I don't love it. And yeah, with Brimson on the bench there, I mean, Kinney could miss his spot. Brimson could go to centre, but there's every chance he goes to 5'8" and Campbell goes back to the bench. He could go back to fullback. I don't love the Campbell play, but Matty Burden, he's 540k. Jeez, he has lost some cash. I feel like he got up to like 800 at one point. He's I guess he does do this, Burden. He does have some low scores in him. Yeah, he was up to mid 700s. He was killing, like, look at the scores. He was killing it, and then had a shocker against Para, Roosters, and then he's come back pretty well against the Sharkies and the Warriors. So he's on the upward trend again. He has a bye this week, and then that's pretty juicy. Cowboys, Bronx, Canberra, Dragons, Dolphins, Warriors, Manly, Cowboys again. And there's no more buys after this week. Shit, do you just wait on that? I don't dislike that. You could... I mean, you could still go Gray, and then when Gray is peaked in a few weeks, you could go Gray up to Burden. But yeah, we're using quite a few trades if we do that. I don't know. I think at this point, it's wait a week on Burden. I don't hate it. Like, he's at a really good price. I mean, but I don't love Burden, but he's been really good this season. So, like, it's hard to look past it. Or we go the cheapie in, or the other guy I was going to look at, Braden, that's right, Braden Trindle. Oh, I shouldn't have even looked. I gotta be honest, I am very tempted by Trindle. So, he's going to have the goal kicking, that's 1+. He hasn't been good, like, he hasn't been great, but the last score he got, 70... It's not his highest score of the season, but and it is against the Gold Coast Titans, granted, but he looked really involved. Like, he was just getting his hands on the footy a lot. Like, he was there on the backup. He was looking for support play constantly, and I think without Hines now, it's going to be even more so. Like, he is going to be the focal point of attack. Atkinson is very much just not a passenger. I like Atkinson. I actually think he's pretty good. But very much just a ball running 5'8". Just sits back, waits for his moments, which I think is, like, better for a combination. Having one really dominant player and then one guy that sits back and just plays eyes up. So I think Trindle can fucking do something, dude. And, like, the Sharkies still have a great draw. Tigers, then a bye, which is a little bit annoying again. Then Cowboys, South, Gold Coast again, Newcastle Dragons, Warriors, Manly. If we... I mean, look at that. 130 points in 2021. I don't even remember that, dude. He's been all over the shop, old tricky Trindle. It's going to be hard to sort of see, like, just how he's gone. So this is interesting. So 2020, he averaged 65 minutes, only average scored 31. Fuck, I don't remember 2020 at all. I don't. In 2021, he averaged 53 minutes and he averaged 47 points. Then he averaged 33. Averaged 68 minutes in 2023, only averaged 43. And 2024, he's averaged 80 minutes and he's averaging 43. Fuck, I don't think it's worth it. I think if you're gonna go, he just doesn't have the ceiling. I mean, that's the thing. We haven't really seen him without Hines in the team, right? So everything he's done has sort of been with Hines. I mean, I'm sure there's games he hasn't, but for the most part, when he's played, Hines has also played. So you factor in goal kicking, that's one, but then also he's going to get his hands on the footy so often. So he's going to get far more chances to get those attacking stats. Oh, fuck, I don't know. I actually don't mind Trindle, and I don't mind Jai Gray. I guess the thing, if you go Gray, you're sort of locking yourself into having to upgrade Gray, unless you just want to have a non-player in your 5'8", which probably isn't ideal. But if you go Trindle, he could potentially be a keeper. Not necessarily like a gun keeper, but he could be a guy that you keep till the end, you play on matchups, and he could go okay. I don't know. I don't know, dude. There's so many choices this week. I don't know what to do now. I honestly have no idea. There's so many that I don't know. Like going Cartwright to Olaquatu, I love the look of. I love the sound of. Going Hines to Trindle, don't hate at all. I also don't mind going Hines down to Gray. Nets a stack of cash. Also, Gray is going to make good money. Wait, who's got the buy? Round 20. Just double check. The Rabbitohs play round 20, which is also very nice. Hines, Trindle does not. That's a factor as well. I don't know. I'm so torn. And then what are we going to do with Kohler? Do we just go Kohler down to Tungo? Is that worth it? I think the money is nice. And, like, Tungo is a play this week. And I guess in a pinch, if he looks pretty good. I think, I feel like that Tungo can get some points. I like the look of him. He looks like a guy that can get on a bit of a run. Obviously, without Moses this week, it's a little bit meh. But, I mean, Gutherson loves that side of the field. Yeah, you know what? Gutherson, without Moses, he really gets his hands on the footy and goes left a lot more. So, you know what? I think the most obvious trade this week is Kohler down to Tungo. Granted, we could go up to somebody, but who would I want to go up to? There's no one playing this week that I really want. Like, yeah, there's really nobody. I don't think. I mean, you still got a Herbie, you still got like a Jermaine Asako. That's pretty much it. If you're gonna go to someone good this week, it's a Zarko. I'd go a Zarko. He's quite affordable, and do you just go a Zarko? I mean, a Zarko never really lets you down, right? Like he's been not at his best, but he's still scoring like 50 points every week. Like his lowest is still like not below 40. He's got a couple of big ones in there. They play Rabbits this week. It's not a bad matchup with a few plays missing. Penrith, tough. Obviously, that's a rough one. Then Gold Coast, Roosters, Warriors, Dogs, Storm. Yes, it's a pretty tough run. I don't love it and they're mainly all the way from home. I don't love a Zarko. I feel like I've gone this long without him, anti-potting him. I don't know if I really want to go there now. Is there any like pods? I mean, you've still got like fucking. You still like. There is a chance. Like, I don't know. Trading Kohler. Do we just go to like a real pod play? Someone like an Isaac Tungo. Also Roger. If Roger. The thing with Roger is Chance is probably going to be gone for a bit. Does Roger find himself at fullback? I think he should. They're probably more likely to go Tane Torpicki back to fullback. I would definitely understand that. But if Roger somehow found himself at fullback, you could do worse. You could definitely do worse. Going down here. God, he's fucking cheap, dude. Isaac. God, another 35. He's down to 398. If you wait another week, you'd make money going to Isaac Tungo, and Cleary will be back, presumably in round 20 against the Dolphins. I mean, look at some of these high scores. 108 against the Dragons. Fuck me, he's had a shocker against the Dragons. He's played 3 times. He's averaging 49. What the hell's going on there? Averaging 67 against Newcastle, 48 against the Eels, but the Eels are looking much worse. Averaging really well against the Storm, Canberra, pretty good. South, and then Titans. He's only played the Titans once as well. Oh man. Like, he is a pod play. And I mean, that's the thing. We got like a free trade now. It's not a free trade. It's like fucking 2 wasted trades. But in my head, it's like a free trade because Kohler, there's no point keeping him. So if we're trading him, dude, I'm so torn. Like, oh, I don't know. I mean, okay. The thing about this is, if we're gonna go Nicho Hines down to Jai Gray, then we definitely don't need to go Kohler down to Jake Tungo. We can definitely just hold the trade and then probably get in Isaac next week, or even Roger if he's playing fullback. I don't hate. We don't have to make that much cash because we're also going to nuff out one of these front rowers and make a bunch of cash. So, yeah, we don't have to do like that many downgrades. But if we're not going to go Hines... Is it worth going Hines down? Or do you just... I still don't mind Trindle. I gotta be honest, something about it, just... It's just calling to me, you know? And I feel like for the most part, whenever I've gone with my gut on trades, if I've second guessed them too much, I've stuffed them up, but... if I've gone with my gut this year, I feel like most of them have worked out pretty well. There's a couple that have sort of out of my control, haven't worked. Dallin, Kohler, thank you very much. Dom Young the first time, thank you. So we've had some shockers, but I don't know. Trindle is, he's a little tempting to me. I don't hate it. And then the big one, fucking Cartwright to Olakau'atu, is that just worth doing? Or, again, we could just go Kohler to Olakau'atu. Do you just do that? You know what? Maybe we do that. Let's just have a squiz at how this looks on paper. So let's go down. We'll just go down to Trindle. I think Gray... Fuck, I don't hate Gray. I don't hate Gray, dude. I don't mind him. Oh, fuck. I'm so torn, dude. Oh man, oh man. You know what? Oh fuck! I'm keen on both of them, so I don't know what to trust. They're both my gut feel. I'm fucking. Oh man! You know what? I'm going to. We're just seeing how this looks. Great. I mean, he's 270k, and I feel like he can score really well. Trindle, I'm still a little nervous by his scoring, right? And Gray plays next week as well, which is very handy. Let's just see how this looks on paper for now, because what I was thinking, then we trade Cola, swing Thermal down, get down, thank you very much, bringing in Olakawatu. It leaves us with 858k in the bank. Don't mind if I do. We are using some trades. And we could use a boost. I've been wondering when I was going to use the boost. It could be this week. It honestly could be this week. So, how are we looking about this? Because we'll look at what we're doing going forward as well. So, if we use a boost, and I don't hate doing it, we're going to go Fletcher Sharp straight to Tommy. That, it depends. Again, it depends on if our vice captain has like a bit of a shocker and we don't want to take the loop, then I think I'll take the punt on going Tommy and captain him, and it could backfire really badly. Obviously, keep an eye on late mail and whatnot to see if any late changes. If our vice captain goes well and I'm happy to loop, then I'm just going to hold Sharp and play him. That's fine. Happy as Larry with that. Right, so then we have Gagai, who is obviously a great free play this week. He's got a -12. He could score like 20 points and only make a bit of cash, and then his break-even's going to skyrocket. But then Gagai is like such an easy trade to so many players. Like, granted, again, he plays around 20, so depending how he goes, depending on the break-even, we could hold him for round 20. But round 20 or round 21, Gagai to someone pottish. Someone like an Isaac Tungo, someone like I don't know, any other guy that we're looking at for the run home, right? And we can probably afford it. And a lot of guys are pretty cheap. So Roger, if he's playing fullback, could take a punt. Yeah, there's a few options, but yeah, Gagai to somebody for sure is like very, very tempting. Then obviously Tyron Wishart to Cleary if he's back round 20 or 21. We're going to be bringing in Angus Crichton as soon as, like, it's plausible. Like, surely round 20 Crichton gets a rest, so I'm assuming it'll be around 21. We're going to bring in... we'll bring in Angus Crichton. Who are we? We're probably just going to trade our Cartwright. Honestly, Cartwright's probably just going to go. Or Kai Pierce-Paul. Pierce-Paul or Cartwright, I guess. It either or going for Angus Crichton. It does mean we have, like... Our back row is very, very stocked, but oh well, that's what we're doing. I think that's what we're doing. And then, so how many trades was that? So I got to count the trades. So 1, 2, 3, 4, because we probably will have to trade Gray out. So 4, 5 for Crichton. So that's 5 trades. We'll have 5 left. Oh, I mean, that's fine. 5 and then 6 trades with nothing out one of our front row forwards. So that leaves us 4 trades. But that's like, I mean, that's 6 trades over like a few weeks. We're not doing it like all at once. Like it's not pressing that we get in every single guy at the same time, right? Like obviously the big ones are a second gun fullback. That's obviously high priority. Someone for Gagai is like, it's a middling priority. Cleary is very high priority when he's back for sure. Crichton also very high priority. So there's 3 very high priority guys for sure. But surely it's going to happen either 20 or 21. They're not all going to happen on the same round, hopefully. And that's fine. And then the other ones we can just trade when we see fit. The dummy halves, again, I don't know. We just might not even use a trade. The biggest thing I need to make sure that I do is the biggest strategy I came in this year with is that I wanted to hold 3 trades and 1 boost, obviously, to use the 3 trades for the final round of the season, because I feel like you can make such a big swing in that final round. I mean, not necessarily. If things don't quite pan out and mass restings don't happen, then sure, it's a bit of a waste. But that was the one big strategy coming in. Now, I mean, it's probably not going to make huge difference for us, but I still want to see how big an impact it can make just holding 3 trades and a boost. So what we just laid out there, we can still do that pretty comfortably. Like, we got great depth in the team. If there's a couple of injuries, we got good depth. We're not going to have to fucking quickly trade out guys and get guys in. Like, we got good depth. It's looking pretty good. So we should be able to do that. And that's the big thing I want to make sure I'm able to do. Otherwise, I've failed. I've fucking failed, dude. But yeah, I feel like I don't know if this is what I want to do, though. I'm so torn on what I want to do. I really am. Because then do I love Fermor in the center wing? I mean, you know what? I don't mind it. Originally, I was like, Fermor's a guy to go. But at the same time, having Fermor as like a 5th, 6th center winger that you play when you need to play him, if there's buys or injuries, he can bang out 50, 60 points. Honestly, you know what? I don't mind him being in the center wing just to be a rock solid playable option. Yeah, you know what? I think that's fine. I actually think that's fine. Originally, I was like, I don't love him being there, but you know what? The more I look at it, I'm like, you know what? I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. So Kohler to Olakau'atu, I think is a bit of I think that is a good trade. I actually do like that. The big one is, am I going Hines to Gray? That's the big one. That is the big one. Again, let's have it. I know I just looked, but I need to remind myself. He's got a nice low break even. Couple of good matchups for sure. Dolphins, Tigers, even Raiders, Sharks, not the worst. And then hopefully, you know, they're saying he's 350. That's pretty, I mean, that's a low estimate. You can probably say 400, I think is still a pretty low estimate. Getting up to 400k and then trading him off to somebody else. Don't hate it. There's definitely guys that can pop up. And we should have the money. Like, the money will be fine. Like, I feel like we're going to have plenty of money. Even the team's looking pretty stacked. Obviously, a cheap fullback at the moment and a cheap second 5'8" or halfback. That's where a lot of the money is going to go. But the rest of it's pretty good. Like, I mean, 200. So we're going to need, how much we got in the bank? We have 850. So let's say 200k to go Cartwright up to Angus Crichton. So we'll have 650k left. Tyron Wishart to Cleary. Let's just say 200k again. You know, I don't know. Wishart could lose money. We never know. So let's just say 400k getting Crichton and Cleary in. So we'll be down to 460. Then the other big one, obviously, Fletcher Sharp up to a gun fullback. That's a big one. That is a big one. We're gonna need, so he'll be, I mean, obviously it depends a lot on how this week goes. We might hold him, we might not. But he's 350k now. Let's just say we're trading him out at this point, right? To get to the gun fullbacks. I mean, Turbo is a bit under 750, right? And Ponga, I mean, honestly, the 2 guys that I'm probably most keen on are Ponga and Trebojevic, I think. Like, I just think those guys, potentially the most high upside guys to target. There's other fullbacks for sure, but I think they're the two big ones that I want to target. So, like, obviously Mitchell was probably the main one, but he's now injured. Ponga... Okay. So, yeah, you know what? I mean, Ponga's going to lose cash depending when we trade, and Tommy, he'll lose... Let's just say 750. We'll just round it to, like, 750 for both these guys. So, that's 400k. Honestly, we can do it. That's... Crichton, Cleary, and Ponga/Turbo with 3 trades. We can do that. Trading Wishart, Cartwright, and Sharp to those guys, right? We got the money to do it. Plenty of money. And then we're going to have another influx when we nuff out one of our front row forwards. So, like, let's just say 500k for, like, Liam Henry or Fine if we go one of those guys. That'll net us, what's the lowest price? 200. So 300k in the kitty. We'll be able to then upgrade Gray to somebody of note. And then yeah, we're pretty sweet, honestly. Like, the other trades are just going to be luxury trades at the end of the day. So, you know what? I think I do like that. Again, it does just depend if I'm going to go Gray or I'm going to go Trindle. I am torn on that. I like both of them. I do actually like both of them quite a bit. The big factor, again, is Trindle. Like I said, he could be your second halfback that you just hold for the rest of the season. That he could score well. If he shits the bed, you might have to trade him anyway. But I think he'll go okay. Being the number one playmaker and the goal kicking, I don't see him going terribly. And, like, looking at the other halfback options, like, Cleary obviously is the guy you want to get in. But then the other halfbacks, I'm not that keen on any of the other guys. I know they're going well, but with Gray, I'm going to have to trade out. So, but it also nets me a bunch more cash, which is also handy. And then we have the flexibility. We got the flexibility anyway with Dylan Brown there. We can swing, get in a 5'8" or a halfback for Jai Gray, depending who is looking good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. I think I'm going to go either Gray or Trindle. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll listen to the comments. Obviously, I'll take the feedback in, but at the end of the day, it'll be my decision, which is the ultimate thing. Because obviously, I like to hear people's suggestions, but I play it my own way. If it's a mistake, it's a mistake. If it works out, it works out. It's all on my own shoulders at that point. But let's have a look at sit start. So all of a sudden, we got a pretty strong side for round 19. Obviously, the trades, 10 trades left. It's a little bit dicey, but I think the team depth is fucking great. So after the major buy, even with a bit of carnage, we should be pretty sweet, honestly. So let's have a look. So, Thermal's playing. Our centre wing is fullback. Galvin, Gray, D. Brown, Cartwright, Fafita, Nicho, Olaquatu, Pierce Paul. Yeah, I guess the thing, I think the Kohler to Olaquatu just makes sense. Like, I think doing that is the solution, because Cartwright, at the end of the day, Cartwright's playing this week. And he's a number. He could come out and bang out a big score with offloads. He could come out and stink it. He's not going to lose a bunch of cash. So worst case scenario, he comes out, plays reduced minutes, scores like 30 to 40, loses some money, but it's not going to be huge. And then we can trade him to Angus Crichton still pretty comfortably. I think that is still the best solution going forward. Yeah, I think that's fine, and we will start Olaquatu. It doesn't really matter. We're not gonna captain Olaquatu anyway. And then we've got front row and dummy half. I mean, the dummy half is still fucking rank, but I don't know. I don't know what to do with the fucking dummy half. So, captain, vice captain. Without fucking Hines in the team, this makes it a lot trickier, I will say. And this also, I mean, Fafita, obviously Fafita has to be vice captain or captained. So, this is you know what? No, this is fine. I think I'm just going to vice captain Fafita. And I think captain, you got to go Garrick. And like I said, if Fafita goes well, honestly, if he goes like 80 plus, I'm gonna loop. Even if he goes like 75 plus, fuck, I probably will loop. Just the way things are gone this year, I think I just loop a pretty solid score. If he has an absolute shocker, then I think I take the punt and bring in Tommy Trbojevic and captain him. Because, again, it's so tempting to go Tommy. I'm not going to lie. Use a boost, which, again, I like the idea of using a boost this week because we got 2 boosts left. And if I don't use a boost this week, potentially I'm going to waste a boost. So I don't hate it if we do use a boost. I mean, we could use a boost if Crichton doesn't get rested, Cleary's back next week, and we have to go to a gun fullback, then yeah, that's a beautiful boost to use in round 20. I'm not going to lie. That is sensational. But if we use a boost this week, I still don't mind it. But I think Fafita is going to go well enough that I'm just going to take the loop and hold strong on what's his face. So yeah, that's honestly fine. And yeah, how many numbers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We got 16, which I think is pretty solid. And they're the only duds, Brayley dud, and then I mean Cardi could be a dud, I guess. Gagai could be a dud. So we got a few duds to play with. Sharp might not be the best. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's have a quick squiz at round 20 just to remind myself because I think we're pretty sweet. Yeah, because if we're not bringing in Trindle, that's also handy. We only have Ero, but we got plenty of center wings. Young will be back. Heroes will be back. That's fine. D Brown will be out, but Wishart will be playing. That's fine. No Nicho, no Cardi. So, yep, we're covered there. That is fine and dandy. And yeah, that's pretty much sweet. So yeah, round 20, we're fucking fine as well. So that is great. Honestly, if we would just go, oh man, if we were just like slightly higher, dude, like 8,000, I feel like we really could make a run in the back end, but it's just, I feel like it's just too little too late at this point. But I think that'll wrap it up for the preview. I'll be back with a pre-lockout video. Obviously, I'll answer some questions. We'll go through a little bit more of the maybe sort of final push and what I'm thinking. We'll look at sort of the major trade-ins this week, which again will be pretty obvious. But yeah, that'll pretty much wrap it up. And yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Make sure to like and comment. I'll see you guys in the next one.